morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished friends, fellow travellers. My name is Julia Peyton-Jones, and I'm the director of the Serpentine Galleries. And it's with enormous pleasure that I welcome you all to the second day of the Extinction Marathon. This is the 9th annual edition in the Serpentine Galleries Marathon series. The Extinction Marathon is co-curated by the artist and political and ecological activist Gustav Metzger, who has been our guiding light and an inspiration for this year's marathon. Throughout his long career, Gustav has used art as a space to campaign tirelessly about the grave effects of climate change and the loss of biodiversity on Earth. As artists, Gustav has said, we need to take a stand against the ongoing erasure of species, even when there is little chance of ultimate success. It is our privilege and our duty to be at the forefront of the struggle. While humanity has moved through extreme crises in the past, time and speed is of the essence. And we're very delighted that Gustav is here with us today for the second day of the marathon. Thank you very much. The marathon series was an idea conceived by the Serpentine's co-director Hans-Ulrich Obrist in 2006 to coexist with the Serpentine Gallery Pavilion programme, now in its 14th year, and to expand the gallery's year-round events and education programme with an international project that would have interdisciplinarity at its core. While the magazine at the Serpentine Sackler Gallery will host on-stage participations, talks, screenings and performances, as well as an installation by the Estonian artist Katja Novitskova, this is the final day of the Serpentine Pavilion, designed by Smiljan Radic, and I do hope all of you who have not been to see it will do so. This year's marathon is dedicated to the pangolin, and this is a very beautiful picture of the pangolin, drawn in the 18th century and given to us yesterday by Professor Jonathan Bailey, who's head of conservation at the London Zoo, and with whom we're working on trying to save the pangolin. So not an inconsiderable task, but it's something that both personally and institutionally we're dedicated to. As I said, this year's marathon is dedicated to the pangolin, a unique scaly mammal which is hunted in Asia for the medicinal qualities of its scales and where its meat is also sold as a luxury product. As of this year, all 8 species of the pangolin are officially listed as critically endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List of Threatened Species. As human beings, we are only an infinitesimally small fragment of the evolutionary story of the universe. Extinction is part of the mathematical equation by which we seek to understand the world. It is built into the system and gives rise to the new as part of the natural process of evolution. The fragile balance of life also leads us to question the robustness of the system, of the planet, of evolution itself. Extinction is also about loss, which forms part of the human condition. How do we comprehend and deal not only with this loss, but also with the knowledge of our own inevitable demise and the ultimate fate of the world as we know it? To borrow the words of the author, Bill McKibben, from his book, The End of Nature, there is a tendency at every important but difficult crossroad to pretend that it's not really there. Yet there is no ignoring that today species are going extinct at a staggering rate. Previous wipeouts took millions of years, but half all the wildlife on Earth has been extinguished in the last 40 years. Humanity is burning vast quantities of our finite fossil fuels, ushering in a new change in the global atmosphere. The concentration on climate warming, carbon dioxide, is now higher than at any other time since the dawn of humans, 2.6 million years ago. The greatest transitions in the geological timescale are marked by the flowering or decimation of life. With species extinction and global warming gaining speed, humanity's impact on Earth is clear, so much so that many argue it constitutes a new geological epoch, an Anthropocene. The term Anthropocene was coined in the 1980s by the ecologist Eugene F. Stiermer and has been widely popularized by the Nobel Prize-winning atmospheric chemist Paul Crutzen, who regards the influence of human behavior on Earth's atmosphere in recent centuries as so significant as to constitute this new geological epoch. Whether a new epoch should be formally declared is a question of whether humanity's impact on our planet rivals the great events that have shaped the Earth's evolution. The answer for many is a terrifying yes. The fear haunting such knowledge has made its way into the traditional channels of culture and film especially. Half of the year's blockbusters fit into the cinema of the Anthropocene, an annihilating power beyond human scale, but still somehow set loose by humans, and which cannot be recalled, was last seen in the films Godzilla, Noah, Edge of Tomorrow, and Transformers, Age of Extinction, to name but a few. Some of the questions we hope to address here will be, how do we understand ourselves in relation to our collective responsibilities? What is the artist's role in responding to mass extinction? What happens after the world has come and gone? Can artists, scientists, and thinkers imagine new visions of the future? How has the spectre of extinction come to inform artistic and literary practice? One of the most important things about the Serpentine Marathon series is that while we might not all be specialists on each year's topic, the format of inviting a spectrum of speakers from so many different disciplines and areas of study offers us an illuminating cross-section of ideas that has much to offer both specialists and non-specialists alike. This weekend, the Extinction Marathon features contributions from over 80 remarkable people, from artists and poets to conservationists and writers, biologists and filmmakers, anthropologists and astrophysicists, mathematicians and actresses, to evolutionary ornithologists and designers, musicians and architects, to choreographers and environmental lawyers. The stage may be set for a new Big Bang, a bad ending with a new beginning, but this brings with it indefatigable feeling of hope. The eventual destruction of everything compels us to be selective in choosing the battles we fight to save something. Dedicating this year's marathon to the pangolin's cause represents a wider institutional commitment to create a legacy around the topic of distinction and to make a contribution in an ongoing way, a crucial element of the marathon ethos. Jonathan Bailey, London's Zoological Director of Conservation, is responsible for coordinating the pangolin specialist group, and it was in discussion with him that I began to understand the pangolin as a symbol for biodiversity and how the protection of genetic diversity might be this world's sole chance to eventually return to some kind of equilibrium. This is when I decided to adopt the pangolin and make it my own personal cause. The Extinction Marathon comprises several stands that exist across various platforms and media, which will carry the discussion far beyond this weekend. The entire marathon is streamed by thespace.org and the Serpentine's especially developed online platform called Extinctly, which gathers information about global resource depletion, conflict zones, and climate change, as well as artist projects and activists' call to action. The Space and the Serpentine have co-commissioned 2 new online works by Gustav Metzger and Ed Atkins, and 5 new texts from key thinkers, all of which are published on the Extinctly website, as well as thespace.org. The marathon is accompanied by a program booklet conceived by designers David Rudnick and Raf Rennie and printed with UV ink in places. I hope most of you now have a copy, but if not, they're available at the back of the room, where there are also lights for viewing the UV text. There are also a number of posters which have been designed by participants in this year's marathon, also printed with UV, and which are free to take away. Today began with a special screening at the Gate Picture House in Notting Hill, of Sandy McLeod's remarkable new film, which was profoundly moving, called Seeds of Time, which is based on the pioneering work of agriculturalist Carrie Fowler, and I hope some of you here were able to see it. One of the things that I've learned about this one day of the marathon, coming into now the second day, is that so much of it is about education and understanding better a subject, which is so fundamental to us all. So I hope the second day, beginning with a discussion about the film, The Seeds of Time, will begin really something which is extraordinarily exciting to listen to, with so many participants who have such important things to say. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming.